Değerli katılımcılar, Ticaret Bakanlığımız ev sahipliğinde, Afrika Birliği İşbirliği'nde ve DEİK organizasyonunda konuk bakanların katılımlarıyla İstanbul'da gerçekleştirdiğimiz Türkiye-Afrika 4. İş ve Ekonomi Forumumuzda Serbest Bölgelerdeki Fırsatlar ve Faydalar panelimize hoş geldiniz. Serbest Bölgelerdeki Fırsatlar ve Faydalar panelimiz için ilk olarak moderatörümüz Ege Serbest Bölge Kurucu ve İşleticisi Yönetim Kurulu Başkanı Sayın Doktor Faruk Güler'i sahneye davet ediyorum efendim. Ve kıymetli panelistlerimiz, Türkiye Cumhuriyeti Ticaret Bakanlığı Serbest Bölgeler Genel Müdürü Sayın Emel Emirlioğlu'nu, Yatırım ve Serbest Bölgeler Genel Müdürlüğü Başkan Yardımcısı Sayın Doktor Ahmet Şiren Koreyemi, Gana Serbest Bölgeler Kurumu İcra Kurulu Başkanı Sayın Doktor Michael Kuayen'i sahnedeki yerlerine almak üzere davet ediyoruz efendim. Değerli katılımcılar, sözü moderatörümüz Ege Serbest Bölge Kurucu ve İşleticisi Yönetim Kurulu Başkanı Sayın Doktor Faruk Güler'e bırakıyoruz. Buyursunlar efendim.
Teşekkür ederim. Esteemed guests, I would like to thank you for joining this session. In this session, we are going to discuss the opportunities and the use of free zones in African countries and also in Turkey. So we have three prominent speakers. One of them is Mrs. Emel Emirlioğlu. He is representing the top authority of free zones in Turkey. The other speaker is from Egypt. In Egypt, free zones really very diversified, and they are having a quite large and important experience in Egypt. And Mr. Ahmad is represented and going to give a detailed information about the free zones in Egypt. And the other guest is Mr. Akoy, and he is the CEO of Ghana Free Zone Authority. So they are going to give the important and valued information about the free zones in their country, and also we are going to discuss in the second session, we are going to discuss the possible cooperation between the free zones in African country and free zones in Turkey. So before I give the words to the esteemed speakers, I want to introduce, first of all, I want to introduce myself, and each of our speakers also will give their own information about their own experience. After graduation, I did my master and PhD in chemistry, and I started lecturing in the university for a short time, and later I decided to join the private sector, and in 33 years I have managed a couple of companies in Turkey, in Indonesia, and in Thailand. And after coming back, I became the Chief Executive Officer of one of the free zones in Turkey, which is Asian Free Zone, and the operating and company Esbaş. And Esbaş is not the largest free zone in Turkey, but Esbaş is Asian Free Zone is having the highest trade volume and highest export and highest number of employment in Turkey. And lately, we established a new free zone in Turkey, which is at the north side of Izmir, the city called Bergamo, and it is ready for the investment. So I'm the vice chairman of this company called Basbaş, which is developing and operating company of this free zone. Basically, the free zones all over the world has very common objective. Those areas are promoted areas by the countries, even though there are some differences between regulations between country to country, but the main objective is to develop industry and increase technology transfer between different countries or even between different companies. And export is basic approach for every free zone all over the world, and it helps to increase the export and help to generate foreign currency. Those are all helping to foster the economy of the country. That's why those free zones are basically generated and organized and developed. There are more than 1,000 of, even I can call thousands of free zones all over the world, because every country needs to develop their economy, needs to develop their export, needs to develop their industry, needs to increase the employment. So the free zones are basically the tool to achieve all those objectives. And since it is proven that it is a good tool to reach this economical improvement, every day all over the world, new free zones are coming up in different countries. So Turkey has very good experience, and since 1985, we are developing free zones in Turkey, and the speaker, Mrs. Emel Emirlioğlu, is representing the Free Zones Authority. She is the general manager of Free Zones, and I would like to give the first verse to Mrs. Emirlioğlu to explain in this first round, to explain Turkey experience in free zones. And we will continue to do the same thing in, for experience for Egypt and Ghana. So, Ms. Emirlioğlu, please, after introducing yourself, let us have your ideas.
Ben de Ticaret Bakanlığı Serbest Bölgeler Genel Müdürü olarak görev yapıyorum. Değerli Türkiye ve Afrika iş dünyasının değerli temsilcileri, değerli saygıdeğer misafirler ve saygıdeğer katılımcılar, her şeyden önce hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum. Sözlerime başlamadan önce 4. Türkiye-Afrika İş ve Ekonomi Forumu kapsamında düzenlenen Serbest Bölgedeki Fırsatlar ve Faydalar konulu panelde sizlerle birlikte olmaktan duyduğum memnuniyeti ifade etmek istiyorum. Hepinizin bildiği üzere son 20 yıldır Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımızın önderliğinde özellikle Türkiye ve Afrika ülkeleri arasındaki ticari ve ekonomik ilişkilerin geliştirilebilmesi amacıyla ticaretten tarıma, yatırımdan müteahhitliğe kadar pek çok sektörde çok önemli işbirlikleri gerçekleştirilmiş ve çok önemli adımlar atılmıştır. Tabii ki ülkemizde Afrika ülkeleri arasında 2022 yılı itibariyle 33,1 milyar dolarlık bir ticaret hacmine ulaştık. Amacımız tabii bu rakamları çok daha üst düzeylere taşıyabilmek. Bu çerçevede de biz serbest bölgeler alanında yapılacak işbirliklerinin bu rakamları daha üst noktalara taşıma noktasında büyük katkılar sağlayacağını düşünüyoruz. Aslında tabii serbest bölgeler biraz önce Sayın Faruk Bey'in de belirttiği üzere istihdamın arttırılması, yurt dışından yatırım çekilmesi, teknoloji transferi noktasında faaliyet gösterdikleri ülkelere çok büyük katkılar sağlıyorlar. Ve dolayısıyla biz de Ticaret Bakanlığı olarak özellikle Afrika ülkeleriyle ticari ve ekonomik ilişkilerimizin, yatırıma yönelik ilişkilerimizin geliştirilmesi noktasında aslında serbest bölgelerin çok önemli bir politika aracı olduğunu düşünüyoruz ve dolayısıyla bu alanda gerçekleştirilecek işbirliklerinin de iki ülkeler arasındaki ticari ilişkilerin geliştirmesine büyük katkılar sağlayacağına inanıyoruz. Ben de bu panel vesilesiyle tabii ülkemizde faaliyet gösteren serbest bölgeler, amaçları, işleyiş şekli, ticaret hacmi ve serbest bölgelerimizde sağladığımız avantajlar konusunda size bir takım bilgiler vermek istiyorum. Gümrük hattı dışında planlı yatırım alanları olarak kurgulanmış olan serbest bölgelerimiz, yaklaşık 37 yıllık uygulama tecrübesi, hazır altyapı imkanları ve faaliyet ve yatırım teşvikleri ile ihracata yönelik üretim ve yatırımın teşvik edilmesi, yurt dışından yabancı sermaye çekilmesi, teknoloji transferi, uluslararası ticaretin geliştirilmesi ve özellikle firmalarımızın ihracata yönlendirilmesi bakımından en önemli politika araçlarımızdan bir tanesi. Halihazırda faaliyet gösteren, değişik lokasyonlarda konumlanmış olan 19 adet serbest bölgemizde 530'u yabancı olmak üzere 2051 kişiye istihdam sağlanıyor. 2051 tane firmamız faaliyet gösteriyor ve yaklaşık 95.000 kişiye istihdam sağlanıyor. 2022 itibariyle serbest bölgelerimiz 6 milyar dolarlık bir ticaret hacmine ulaştı. Özellikle serbest bölgelerimizin ihracata yönlendirilmesi hedefi doğrultusunda da 11,4 milyar dolarlık bir ihracat gerçekleştirdik serbest bölgelerden. 2023 yılı Eylül ayı itibariyle ise serbest bölgelerimizin ticaret hacmi 23 milyar dolara, ihracatımız da 9 milyar dolara ulaştı. Serbest bölgelerde tabii firmaların faaliyet gösterebilmesi için mutlaka bir faaliyet ruhsatı düzenlenmesi gerekiyor. Firmalarımıza üretim, ticaret, alım satım, bakım onarım, montaj, demontaj, Ar-Ge gibi pek çok konuda faaliyet ruhsatı düzenlenebilmesi mümkün. Yine serbest bölgelerinde bulunan firmalarımız gıdadan, tekstil ve konfeksiyona, makine üretimi ve makine parçalarından lüks yat üretimleri bakımı onarımına, işte medikal ürünlerden yazılıma kadar pek çok sektörde faaliyet gösteriyorlar. Firmalarımız serbest bölgelerde yatırımcı ve kiracı olarak faaliyet gösterebilirler. Eğer bir firmamız serbest bölgedeki üst yapısını kendisi yapmış ise ve üretim faaliyetinde bulunuyorsa biz bu firmaya 45 yıllık faaliyet ruhsatı düzenliyoruz. Eğer üretim dışındaki faaliyetlerde bulunuyorsa kendi yapmış olduğu üst yapısında 30 yıllık faaliyet ruhsatı düzenleniyor. Eğer firma kiralamış olduğu bir üst yapıda üretim faaliyetinde bulunuyorsa 20 yıl, diğer faaliyetlerde bulunuyorsa 15 yıllık faaliyet ruhsatları düzenlenebiliyor. Tabii bir firmanın gelip de serbest bölgeye yatırım yapmasının veya serbest bölgede faaliyet göstermesinin en önemli motivasyonu bizim o firmaya sağlamış olduğumuz teşvikler ve tabii serbest bölgenin sunmuş olduğu avantajlar. En önemli vergisel teşvikler gelir ve kurumlar muafiyeti ile stopaj istisnası. Serbest bölgede faaliyet gösteren firmalarımızın bu bölgede üretmiş oldukları ürünlerin satışından elde ettikleri gelirler ruhsat süresi boyunca kurumlar ve gelir vergisinden muaf. Yani bir üretim yapan firmaya biz bir 45 yıllık ruhsat düzenlemiş isek 45 yıl boyunca firma elde ettiği, serbest bölgede elde etmiş olduğu kazançları için hiçbir kurumlar vergisi veya gelir vergisi ödemiyor. Yine firmalarımız, üretici firmalarımız serbest bölgede üretmiş oldukları ürünlerin %85'ine eğer ihraç ederlerse çalışanlarına ödedikleri ücretler için gelir vergisi istisnasından yararlanabiliyorlar. Yine serbest bölgede düzenlenen her türlü kağıtlar, harç ve damga vergisinden muaf. Emlak vergisi muafiyeti sağlanıyor serbest bölgede faaliyet gösteren firmalarımız için. Yine tamamen yurt dışına yönelik lojistik hizmetler sağlanması halinde de yine gelir kurumlar ve KDV vergisinden istisna oluyorlar. Tabii serbest bölgelerimiz gümrük hattı dışında konumlandıkları için bundan kaynaklanan da bir takım avantajları var. Dolayısıyla serbest bölgeye firmalar her türlü KDV gümrük vergisinden istisna olarak mallarını getirebiliyorlar, demirbaşlarını, makinalarını getirebiliyorlar. Bu da tabii firmalarımıza çok büyük bir maliyet avantajı sağlıyor. Yine ülkemizle Avrupa Birliği arasındaki gümrük birliği nedeniyle firmalarımız ATR belgesi düzenlemek kaydıyla çok kolay bir şekilde Avrupa Birliği ülkelerine mallarını gönderebiliyorlar. Serbest bölgelerimiz tabii azaltılmış bürokrasi ve dinamik yönetim yapılarıyla, çünkü serbest bölgelerimiz tamamen özel sektördeki şirketler tarafından kurulup işletiliyorlar. Dolayısıyla çok güvenli ve daha iyi yatırım ortamları sunulabiliyor firmalarımıza. Serbest bölgelerimizde malların depolanması konusunda herhangi bir süre sınırı yok. Firmalarımız istediği kadar sürede mallarını bölgede depolayabiliyorlar. Kar transferinde herhangi bir kısıtlama yok. Ve firmalarımızda tabii 45 yıl gibi çok uzun süreli faaliyet ruhsatları düzenlendiği için firmalarımız orta ve uzun vadede çok daha iyi planlama yapma imkanını bulabiliyorlar. Yine serbest bölgelerimizde tabii firmalarımıza verimli ve olumlu yatırım ortamları sunabilmek amacıyla o serbest bölgemizin işletilmesinden, bölgenin yönetilmesinden sorumlu olan serbest bölge müdürlüklerimiz, yine serbest bölgelerimizin kurulup işletilmesinden sorumlu olan bölge kurucu ve işletici firmalarımız ve gümrük idarelerimiz çok uyumlu bir şekilde faaliyetlerini yürütüyorlar. Tabii Türkiye'de faaliyet gösteren serbest bölgelerimizin SEK ve idaresinde esas olan 2 tane kurum var. Bir o serbest bölgede faaliyet gösteren serbest bölge müdürlüklerimiz. Bunların amacı firmalar ile bakanlığımız arasındaki koordinasyonu sağlamak, inşaat ruhsatlarını düzenlemek. Diğer önemli kurum ise serbest bölge kurucu ve işletici firmalar. Tabi bu firmalarımız bütün o serbest bölgenin altyapı ve üst yapı yatırımlarının yapılması, serbest bölgede faaliyet gösteren kullanıcı firmaların ihtiyaç duyduğu hizmetlerin sağlanması, elektrik, doğalgaz, su gibi, suyun tedariki gibi çok önemli bir işlev yürütüyorlar. Yine biz de Ticaret Bakanlığı Serbest Bölgeler Genel Müdürlüğü olarak serbest bölgelere yönelik genel politikaların tespiti, yeni serbest bölgelerin kurulması, işletme sözleşmelerinin imzalanması gibi konularda faaliyetlerimizi yürütüyoruz. Halihazırda değişik lokasyonlarda konumlanmış 19 adet serbest bölgemiz var. Ben tabii bunların hepsiyle ilgili zaman sınırı nedeniyle tek tek bilgi vermeyeceğim ama hani en önemli ve en öne çıkmış bölgelerimizle ilgili size bir iki kısa bilgi vermek istiyorum. Birinci en bilinen, aslında dünyada en bilinen serbest bölgelerimizden biri Mersin Serbest Bölgesi. 83 yılında kuruldu ve 85 yılında faaliyete geçti. Daha çok ticaret ve lojistik alanında öne çıkan bölgelerimizden biri. Yaklaşık 4 milyar dolarlık ticaret hacmine ulaştı. 2022 yılında 1,5 milyar dolarlık ihracatı var ve tek rıhtım olan serbest bölgelerimizden biri. Diğer serbest bölgemiz yine Mersin Serbest Bölgemizle birlikte kurulan ve 85 yılında faaliyete geçen Antalya Serbest Bölgemiz. Bu özellikle lüks yat üretimi ve bakım onarımı konusunda öne çıkmış ve dünyada aslında markalaşmış serbest bölgelerimizden biri. Burada işte Damen gibi, Ares gibi, Bering Naval gibi çok hani önemli firmalar faaliyet gösteriyor. Aslında istihdam, ticaret, üretim açısından en önde gelen serbest bölgelerimizden biri Ege Serbest Bölgesi. Faruk Bey de zaten onun bölgenin kurucu ve işleticiliğinden sorumlu firmamız. 1987 yılında faaliyete geçti. İlk aşamada 2.220.000 metrekarelik bir alanda kuruldu. Fakat ondan sonra bölge o kadar çok talep topladı ki 2 defa genişletilmek durumunda kaldı. Şu an yaklaşık 2.500.000'in üzerinde bir alana sahip ve bu haliyle bile şimdiden dolmuş durumda. 2022 yılı itibariyle 5 milyar dolarlık bir ticaret hacmine ulaştı. 2,5 milyar dolarlık bir ihracat gerçekleştiriyor ve yaklaşık 25.000'e yakında istihdam sağlanıyor bölgemizde. İşte Boss gibi, Kale, Pratt Whitney gibi, Eldor gibi çok büyük önemli küresel firmalarımız bu bölgemizde üretim faaliyetlerini yürütüyorlar. Yine 2000 yılında faaliyete geçen özel arazi üzerinde faaliyete geçen diğer bir serbest bölgemiz Bursa Serbest Bölgesi. Bu da Gemlik'te kurulmuş bir bölge. Ağırlıklı olarak otomotiv yan sanayi konusunda kümelenmiş olan bir bölgemiz. Burada da Yazaki gibi, Aunde gibi önemli küresel otomotiv yedek parçası konusunda üretim yapan firmalarımız faaliyet gösteriyorlar. Yine ticaret hacmi açısından aslında en büyük bölgelerimizden, en büyük özel bölgelerimizden biri Avrupa Serbest Bölgesi. Bu da 96 yılında faaliyet geçti. Daha çok yabancı sermayeli firmaların tercih ettiği bir bölgemiz. Burada da Poliplex gibi, 3M gibi yine büyük küresel firmalarımız faaliyet gösteriyor. En son faaliyete geçen ise Batı Anadolu Serbest Bölgemiz. Yaklaşık 2.367.000 metrekare üzerinde kurulmuş olan bir bölgemiz. Bu bölgemiz aslında çok önemli lojistik avantajlara sahip ve bu bölgemizin de tam kapasiteyle çalışmaya başlaması halinde yine 2,5 milyar dolarların üzerinde bir ihracat, 5 milyar doların üzerinde bir ticaret hacmi ve yaklaşık 30 bin lira yakında istihdamın sağlanmasını bekliyoruz. Ben bu vesileyle teşekkür ediyorum. Bu panelin inşallah serbest bölgeler konusundaki işbirliğinin geliştirmesine faydalı olmasını temenni ediyorum. Saygılar sunuyorum.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Emirlioğlu. I noticed two things. Being in a free zone development and operating company, we are looking all through the world what kind of incentives are given by the country, respective country. And the most important difference, I believe, is the one that you mentioned. The license is given for 4 to 5 years. And 45, that means 45 years, companies do not pay any income tax and do not pay any income tax for the employee if they are exporting major part of their production. And 45 years advantage of using clean custom operation. And the other difference is generally all over the world, the free zones are operated by the government officials, institutions, by the government institutions, where we started the same in 1985. But in Turkey, that's another big difference. A private company is operating the free zones, developing and operating free zones, and it gives very smooth and ready-to-use lands for building their investors' buildings, or even ready-to-use buildings to use for the investors. So those are main big differences, I would say. Thank you very much for the information, and the same I would request from Mr. Ahmed.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation and the generous hospitality of the whole Turkish people, and for the honor of being among the great colleagues, panelists. And I would like to start off by acknowledging the real optimistic vision of the whole Egyptian economic and business community with the current evolvement and improvement of the relations between both countries, Egypt and Turkey, and as we look forward to catch up and capitalize with both our benefits in both countries. Both countries are two big countries, and the borders are very close, and we have a great common history between both countries. We have lots of successful investment experiences in Egypt from Turkey and vice versa, and I believe that Turkey is one of the favorable destinations for Egyptians. I believe the same thing from Turkish people. Egypt has a very quite successful experience in the sector of free zones. We have different types of free zones, and I'm not going to repeat the main objectives of free zones, which everybody knows, which is basically it improves exports, and it supports exports against competition in the global markets, and definitely it enhances the inflow of the foreign currency to the countries, and definitely also it provides new technologies and deepens its industry and localize it in the country. In Egypt, basically we have three types of free zones. One of them, this is the most common, which is the public free zone. The public free zone is a public-owned a state-owned free zone, which we have nine of them currently in Egypt, and there is another 6 on the way. And these zones, of course, basically they have to be close to the ports, and they have to be close to the labor, and they are almost full, all of them. In Egypt, the 9 private free zones, they employ about 200,000 people, and the capital investment in these projects are about $6–7 billion, and invested capital is about $12.6 billion. And the rules applied in the public free zones are very well known for everybody, and especially for Turkish, and we have quite impressive requests from Turkish people. The reason for that, one of the main reasons, is that Egypt have one of its most precious assets, which is the free trade agreements that we have with most of the countries of the world, like the quiz agreement with the United States, the Euro one with Europe, and definitely the agreements with Turkey and the Middle East and the Arab countries, the African countries, the COMESA, even South American countries. Also, it's very important to highlight that Egypt also currently offers skilled labor. Egypt is a young country. We have a population of 105 million people, plus another 10 foreign residents in Egypt. And it's a young country. We have 60% of our population below 30 years old, with 30 million highly educated people, which means they can speak more than one language. And the current economical situation we have in Egypt provides also a very attractive rate for labor cost. It's one of the lowest currently. It's around $150 a month. Also, with the current surplus of energy production, Egypt currently also provides one of the lowest rates in energy, and I believe this is one of the major reasons why Egypt is very attractive for Turkish industry to integrate with the Egyptian free zones in order to promote and make sure the Turkish producers maintain their customers and supply them with the proper cost with a very competitive prices. As I was saying, we were talking about the first type of free zones, which is the public free zone, and due to the lack of enough areas, we have what's so-called the private free zone. In this case, the investor, after acquiring his land, we make this, incorporate this company to be a private free zone. It has to fulfill some terms and conditions, and easily we have more than 200 investors, private free zones, and it's working very fine, and people are always requiring to have more private free zones, and that's also very attractive because you can control the location where you want, whether you want it to be near from the ports, or you want it to be near from the labor, or you want it to be near from logistics or competitives. There are lots of options. Flexibility is available. And the third type of private of free zones is the one we just launched with, which is the offshore, which is the we call it the special private free zone, where you can provide services, the service private free zone, where you can provide services through these companies like financial services, law services, technology services, and this is also one of the new achievements of the recent resolutions that has been taken by the current ministry. It's very important to tell everyone that Egypt is currently really open for investment, and due to this lack in foreign currency, we are really offering attractive offers for foreign investors. And as I said before, the Turkish investors are one of the favorite destinations that we look forward to integrate with. I believe that the very close distance between the two countries and the successful stories we have here among us lots of very successful business people who are really running some successful business in Egypt for years now, and we look forward to expand that. It's very well known that the Egyptian location is one of the most attractive locations. We are overviewing the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. We have the Suez Canal, which handles 12% of the global trade all over the world, and definitely Egypt is the gate to Africa due to its premium location and its very good relations with all the African countries, with accessibility to all of them. We have invested a lot in the previous years in infrastructure. We've built an extra about an extra 13,000 kilometers of roads. We have currently about 10,000 kilometers of railway roads, and we are on our way to finalize the new road that we call the Cairo-Cape Town road, which crosses about 9 countries. Connectivity also with Libya, with Sudan, all these countries are basically considered as very close countries, and Egypt is basically their main suppliers. Also, with the current, as I said, the current surplus in energy, we have a very attractive rates for energy, one of the most attractive in the whole world, and we are willing to maintain a reasonable price for energy. So I believe Egypt is ready, and it's time for Turkish people to come and have their own visit and their own choices. And in GAFI, this is our job to facilitate all the requests in order to make sure they enjoy a successful investment experience. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ahmed. Always, business relations and trade relations between the countries help to increase the good relation between the countries. So Egypt is very important for Turkish businessmen, as you said, and free zones. As we see, free zones, Egypt is also using free zones for their economical growth, basically, and to increase the employment, increase the foreign currency gain for the country. What we learn from them, I think, is different than the Turkish free zones. They have variety of different combination of free zones. They call normal free zone, they call public free zone, they call private free zone, they call offshore free zone, to support different ways to business and different businesses as well. So as I said at the beginning, free zones always has a main objective, very good tool, but how to use them are different from country to country. So thank you very much for those information. And now let us hear Dr. Akwe about the Ghana experience. He is the CEO of Ghana Free Zone Authority. Please.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'd like to say a very good day to Turkey and to all of Africa represented here today. So first of all, we would like to look at some of the things that my colleagues have talked about in Turkey and in Egypt, and I must say it was quite enlightening. There was a lot to learn from and a lot of good ideas, quite a few similarities and a few contrasts. In Ghana, we actually have a mixed match of all that was mentioned here. And we have a free zone where what is unique is we don't want to zone what is free in terms of incentives and all the other benefits. So even though we have industrial parks, which we call the Ghana Free Zone Park, anybody who comes to Ghana and wants to get into the business of export, and in Ghana the minimum is 70%. So once you export more than 70% of your produce outside Ghana, it could be even just next door, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, or any of that sort, you qualify for free zone. Except we don't look at the zone, we look at the license. So if you're a company in Ghana and you are producing, let's say, shea nuts, the shea nuts are in the north. So we allow you to locate next to your raw materials, produce, and bring the finished product to the nearest port. It could be airport, it could be seaport, whichever way you have decided to export your material. So once we give you the license, you can locate anywhere. So one of the biggest companies who work in Ghana, for example, they export bananas, they would be near the banana farm. For example, those who do pineapple, they would be near the pineapple farm, so that the juice comes out as canned and not the fruit, which may either be contaminated or may even get rotten in the process of coming down. But one thing that we've also noticed that the world needs at the moment is ICT, banking services, and, as my brother termed, offshore services to other countries. So, for example, you could be in Ghana and provide either IT services, bunkering services to the oil and gas industry in Ivory Coast, in Ghana, in Nigeria, or you could be doing mining, for example, providing services to mining companies in Africa, but you are based in Ghana. You'll be considered a free zone company. So you'll get all the incentives, even though you are based in Ghana and providing it in another country. So the service is considered an export. And we're also looking at competitive advantage. Really, unless it's a niche area like cocoa, where in Ghana free zones, most of the biggest companies are cocoa processing, because you won't be able to get that advantage in Turkey. But if you're doing something else that the Turks are doing more, then we look at that and we pull out of that and move into an area of competitive advantage. What does Ghana have in that? One thing that we are moving into is business process outsourcing, ICT. Because we know that the biggest countries like India, like Philippines in particular, they are very good with business process outsourcing. And we have also the competitive advantage to be able to compete with them in that. I lived in India for 4 years. At one point, I was Ghana's ambassador to India for 4 years. So I was able to also look at that competitive advantage and see how we can leverage it. And one thing that Ghana has in abundance is education. Ghana has a fantastic education rate comparatively to most African countries and in that region. So it's one of the advantages. The youth is something which is spread across Africa, but most importantly, the investment into the fiber optics and also the undersea cable in Ghana. We have already 5 points which go into Ghana in particular. And this has led many ICT companies like Google, Hubtel, Websoft, Twitter, to all set up varied headquarters in Ghana because of the fact that if you look at, for example, data process entry, you need a very high level of education, but even with the business process outsourcing, you need people who can speak very clear English, who can also be able to relate to the client. So I always tease my Indian friends, I say, in Ghana, we speak the English clearer and you have the information technology to support us. So there's always that joint way of achieving it. And that is one of the focuses that Ghana is looking at now. So we want to inform Turkey that if you are looking at ICT as a hub, whether it's data processing, hardware, software, e-process, data centers, all those in that area, Ghana is one of the places to come to. Now, apart from the infrastructure for ICT, we also need to be able to provide you with space. And I was very excited to hear how my two colleagues mentioned the amount of free zone spaces they have. We also have the private and public. So we have private companies who are setting up space that we, the free zones, give them the license to be able to operate. And then we also have the public one. The public one, at the moment, we have 6 of them, and we've just acquired a new one in the city, which was already just full recently. And that is 1,200 acres of land that we've just recently acquired, and it's in the process of being completed. So that is an area where we want to also invite business people to come in. We have various sectors. We have light industry, heavy industry, zoned off, especially with areas of pollution. We can't have pharmaceuticals next to metal fabrication, for example. So all of those areas have been allocated for businessmen to be able to choose where they can set up their industry. And this is very paramount. In terms of our ports and also the airports, Ghana is very much known as one of the best destinations for the export of fruits, agricultural products, because we all know that Ghana is virtually at the center of the world. Ghana is longitude 0 and latitude 0. Another thing that is very important to most investors is the fact that Ghana is a very peaceful country. In fact, if you look at the recent Global Peace Index ratings for Africa, Ghana was number 2, next to Mauritius. But we all know Mauritius is just outside Africa, or right next door, if we'll say so. So in terms of security, in terms of peace, in terms of certainty of what you're doing, that makes it a very attractive zone. But one thing that I also want to chat with the Turkish business community about is there must be more government-to-government interaction. Because what are some of the stumbling blocks that we, the free zones, have noticed? And in fact, before I came here, I went to see your Turkish ambassador to Ghana, Mr. Hussein, and we had quite a few interesting things which I want to chat with the government and the private business community. One, biggest stumbling block is treaty on tax. We need to be able to resolve that matter quickly so that there is no double payment of taxation in both countries. So I will lobby my side, you also lobby your side, and let's get this done as quickly as possible. The second area, which is also a benefit that we give to most countries, because my brother from Egypt rightly said, there are a lot of treaties that they have with America, they have with EU, Ghana has the same. So why don't we have the same thing also with Turkey? Because it allows you to benefit from, for example, repatriation of funds, so that it can be done through the right channels, and then it's a win-win situation. We don't mind that because the benefits are clear. Why do we want to invite Turkish businesses? We want you to come. It gives us technological know-how. It gives us jobs. It gives us foreign exchange. It gives us many things that we are able to leverage on. But at the same time, too, it gives you open market and access to the new kid on the block, as I may call it, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, where with the new regulations like preferential treatment, which we'll go into, I know, a bit later, so I would halt on that area. But in broad terms, it allows you access into markets which, if you were in a free zone in, let's say, Turkey, you will not get that access. So you have to come to Ghana, you have to come to Egypt, you have to come on board to be able to be part of that journey. In terms of incentives, I mean, these are things that we like companies to come and make queries. You come and then we show you. Some of them are very simple when it comes to income tax. For example, we give you a 10-year tax break, and the corporate tax usually is about 25%, but after 10 years, yours is only 15%, 100% withholding tax, 100% exemption from duties, levies, whether direct or indirect, forever, and many, many other incentives. In fact, some of them are non-monetary in terms of no bureaucracy when it comes to customs and so on. I was very excited when I listened to the former speakers, and some people were complaining about certain things in Africa that are not logistically fluid, if I may say so. But the answer that the chap gave was profound. He said that is actually an advantage, because when you come in to Ghana and you are able to spot that there's a problem with the bureaucracy and you are able to overcome it, That is why you will get the opportunity in the first place. Because if it were simple, many others would take advantage of it. I'm taking a cue from your signal that you want us to move on. So I'll halt on this for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Dr. Akaya already started giving the advices for the future. The most important thing, I believe, is the need creates innovative ideas. So, especially in ICT business, Ghana is like some of the other countries are taking the lead, at least to establish that kind of free zones to increase the service, to get the service sector also on free zones, and as Turkey, we have similar approach in that area as well. Thank you. So we have only 20 minutes left. So let us quickly review our opinion to strengthen the relation between free zones, between Turkish free zones and African countries' free zones. Let us start with you again, Mrs. Amirloğlu.
Evet, ben tabii biz Ticaret Bakanlığı olarak özellikle Afrika ülkeleriyle ülkemiz arasındaki ticari ilişkilerin, ekonomik ilişkilerin geliştirmesine çok büyük bir önem atfediyoruz, önem veriyoruz. Bu kapsamda da tabii serbest bölgeler arasındaki işbirliği imkanlarının artırılması, geliştirmesinin de bu ticari ilişkilerin geliştirmesine büyük katkılar sağlayacağını düşünüyoruz. Bu özellikle serbest bölgeler arasındaki iyi uygulama örneklerinin paylaşılması, işbirliği mekanizmalarının geliştirilmesi konusunda aslında ülkeler arasında düzenlenecek olan mutabakat saplarının büyük bir katkısı olacağını düşünüyoruz. Halihazırda biz Sudan, Tunus, Cibuti ve Gana'yla mutabakat saplarımız zaten mevcut. Bu özellikle serbest bölgeler arasındaki ilişkilerin geliştirmesine önemli bir baz sağlayacaktır. Tabii diğer önemli bir konu özellikle serbest bölgelere teknik böyle ziyaretlerin yapılması. Hem Afrika serbest bölgelerinin bizim yatırımcılarımız tarafından yerinde görülmesi, incelenmesi, hem Türkiye'deki serbest bölgelerimize Afrika'dan yatırımcı heyetlerinin getirilmesi ve buna yönelik organizasyonların yapılması faydalı olur diye düşünüyoruz. Biz zaten halihazırda pek çok Afrika'dan heyeti serbest bölgelerimizde ağırlıyoruz. İyi uygulama örneklerini kendileriyle paylaşıyoruz. Bunun dışında işte Dünya Serbest Bölgeler Örgütü veya Afrika Serbest Bölgeler Örgütü gibi bir takım bölgesel ve uluslararası organizasyonlar var. Tabii bunlara da çok aktif bir şekilde katılmak, burada bir takım seminerler, organizasyonlar düzenlemenin de faydalı olacağını düşünüyorum. Teşekkürler.
Thank you very much. So three ideas actually, MOUs between the countries and visit and get to know each other. Those are the basic things, and join to world scale free zone organizations. Yeah, thank you very much. So, Mr. Ahmed, how about you?
I think I agree with my colleague on what she's saying. I believe that interaction between countries is very important. The mutual visits between all countries is also very important. And as I mentioned before, I believe in the current challenging time, after the several challenges that we've been through the past few years, whether the COVID-19, the supply chain challenges, and the current European war, I believe it's very important to complement between all the countries in order to benefit for all the countries. Currently in Egypt, we are taking very aggressive measures in order to boost business and deepen and localize lots of industries capitalizing on our resources and capturing lots of opportunities and capitalizing also on the very heavy investment that we've done in the infrastructure, whether imports. Egypt has more than 25 ports. We have about 20 airports, and as I said, we are also looking forward to be a global logistical hub with the storage spaces and also manufacturing facilities. And we are also capitalizing on the surplus of energy we have in Egypt, the availability of labor and the attractive cost of labor, whether skilled or non-skilled. We really look forward to see more and more visits and investments and cooperation between Turkey and Egypt. I'd like to thank you again for this great opportunity, and we look forward to more successful events. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. So the economic relation, I believe, as I said before, will really help to increase the relation between Egypt and Turkey. I'm sure if we can really enhance the relation between the free zones, that would also help. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. Akbaya.
Yes, thank you very much. And this is an area which requires a lot of bilateral relationships, because as recent as 2013, the government of Ghana, the government of Turkey signed an MOU with a lot of good ideas. And it's not just about the free zone, it's about trade. Because a lot of people forget that the emphasis of free zone is about export. The only difference is that if you do less than 70%, you don't qualify for free zone, but you're still involved in export. And that also guarantees, as the former speaker said, food security, trade relations, treaties, and all the various things involved in the bilateral relations. But what has happened since then? Since 2013, this MOU was supposed to be renewed every 5 years. And then after that, the treaties will be done. Not only has it not been renewed, but none of the treaties have been implemented, with examples that I gave before. So this is something that we must look at in the context of not just Africa-Turkey relationships, but in the broader sense of even the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Because I believe that if we're doing the same thing with Europe and with America, and it's done, recently one was done with India and another one with China, we need to get the Turkish one going so that there's a platform to launch to enhance all the relationships. Because I want to make this also very clear. Strategically, I think that Turkey is one of the best partners that can work with Africa. And so we need to get it going. Thank you.
Thank you. As Mrs. Amiroglu told, our president is really stressing on increasing the business relations with African countries. But as I understand from your comments, we still need to do a lot on developing the business, to increase the business relations between not only Ghana, but African countries and Turkey. And maybe since Mrs. Amiroglu is here, it is a good start to work on free zones together with the trade, because he was the top authority before free zone in trade relation, to increase the trade relation between the countries. So she is coming from that origin. So let us give her a job to do those things. Thank you very much. And we have a couple of minutes for Q&A session. So please, ma'am. I will come to you. Yeah, I will come to you, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Etonde, and I'm the Executive Director of the Cameroon-Turkey Business Council. This topic is a little bit new to me, so I'm going to ask about 4 questions back to back. But I just want to thank the panelists for the very exhaustive presentation. One of the things that I've been tasked to do in the next couple of months is to set up a industrial free zone for the Turkish companies. And before I say that, I want to applaud the Turkish companies that have set up in Cameroon, because since 2014 that the Business Council was created, we have about 28 companies now in Turkey, and it's like, one comes and they share the good news and then another one comes. So I just want to continue to thank them and encourage them to continue coming to set up. Okay, so my first question is, what is the criteria for companies to join a free zone? The second one is, these free zones, do they necessarily have to be located near the ports? And then, I would like to know, because when I look at the opportunities and the benefits of free zones, it's just benefits, benefits, benefits. But then, how does the country make money from these companies? Because is there any payment that these companies need to make before they get into the free zone? And then, why exactly do these companies have to export over 85% of their produce? What happens to the people who are in that country? Don't they need those things? Thank you.
Ms. Samuel, would you comment on this, or do you want me to?
Ya şöyle, tabii serbest bölgede firma kurum. Aynı şekilde firma kuruluyor, aynı kurallara tabi. Yani serbest bölgedeki firma Türk Ticaret Kanunu çerçevesinde kurulabiliyor ve serbest bölgede faaliyet gösteriyor. Yani Türkiye'de firma nasıl kuruluyor ise serbest bölgede kurulma şartları da, kriterleri de aynı.
And maybe to add to your last question, and the third question gives the reason. I mean, the countries are giving incentives because they like to increase the export volume. They like to get the new technology from outside because they have to export, and employment, increase employment. Those are the benefits of the countries to give those incentives. While coming in to get the license, yeah, companies are paying, but that money is very, very small, insignificant. Thank you.
Let me add something to what she asked. Madam, from Cameroon. So look at my finger, it's 0. So if a company doesn't come to your country, you have 0. Everybody's worrying about the tax, but you never have the tax if they're not there. So if the tax is not there, what do you get? Your country gets jobs, right? They get technological know-how, they get foreign exchange, they get economic growth, among others. So now you have 4 things, but still no tax. So you don't always dwell on just the tax, you dwell on the other advantages, and in any case, it's a competitive space. If you don't invite them to Sierra Leone, Cameroon, Ghana, or Egypt, or Turkey, they will go to Dubai. They will go to another country. So that is what we need to look at in terms of competitive. And the last one, before you said 85%, why that? Because, for example, in Ghana, we don't have enough of the middle class for consumption of most of the luxury goods. So even if it's cocoa, even if it's gold, yes, you have it in Africa, but you don't have the consumption market. So you need to produce it, but to export to get the money. That's one of the reasons. Thank you.
Please.
Ok, merci. Je suis Séraphin Kouad de la Côte d'Ivoire. J'interviens dans l'entourage jeunesse et dans l'agriculture. Je voudrais féliciter la Turquie parce que quand j'ai entendu 45 ans d'exonération d'impôts accordés aux entreprises qui interviennent dans la zone franche. Félicitations à vous, cela démontre que vous avez pris une grande décision en matière d'entrepreneuriat jeunesse. Je vous félicite. Maintenant, je tourne vers mes frères africains. Vous représentez l'Afrique. Madame a dit, partageons les bonnes pratiques. Et là, ils sont à 45 ans. Mon frère du Ghana, Dr Michael, dit que vous êtes à 10 ans. Donc je pense que c'est un problème. Le problème de l'entrepreneuriat en Afrique. Au niveau de la Côte d'Ivoire, je prends par exemple mon pays, vous savez, l'assiette fiscale n'est pas grande, il n'y a pas beaucoup de grandes entreprises. Et donc, ce qui fait qu'au niveau, par exemple, de l'importation, la douane, ça coûte extrêmement cher. Donc, ce que vous dites, je pense que l'exemple est là, elle l'a dit, partageons les bonnes pratiques. Et je lance ce message-là aux décideurs africains pour qu'on encourage l'entrepreneuriat jeunesse. Je vous remercie.
Let us start with you, Mr. Boye. Because
to be honest, I don't have any comment. I think he was giving us some things to look out for, like advice. So the advice is taken. That we should look at, for example, the 45 years and so on and so forth. It wasn't a question, sort of. It was more a contribution. So we've taken note. Thank you.
Türkiye ile Afrika ülkeleri arasındaki ticari ilişkilerin, ekonomik ilişkilerin gelişmesi konusunda işbirliği yapılması konusunu dile getirdi. Yani bizim de amacımız bu aslında. Elimizden geldiği kadar Afrika ülkeleri ve Türkiye arasındaki iş birliğini geliştirmeye çalışıyoruz. Yani zannediyorum Türkiye ile Afrika arasındaki işbirliğinin geliştirmesine yönelik faaliyetlerin hızlandırılması ve buna yönelik faaliyetlerin yapılmasına yönelik bir yorum oldu. Yani bizim de amacımız bu aslında. Türkiye ve Afrika ülkeleri arasındaki işbirliğinin geliştirmesine yönelik Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımızın da önderliğinde 20 yıldır açıkçası bu konuda önemli faaliyetler yürütülüyor. Ve aslında bu amaç doğrultusunda da işte yurt dışı müteahhitlikti, yatırımlardı, tarımdı, ticaretti, pek çok konuda da aslında güçlü işbirlikleri oluşturuldu. Teşekkürler.
Yeah, the last question, the lady was really started early.
Thank you. My name is Victoria. I am the Director General of Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I would like to commend the Free Trade Zone authorities here present, but my questions go to the African free zones. How do you leverage the Africa's continental free trade area to make the zones function better? Because now, AfCFTA is coming, and you have an incentive at the free zones. How do you balance out these two incentives? Thank you.
May I?
Sure. The question you've asked is actually the biggest elephant in the room. Because at the moment, we have something called preferential treatment, where when you produce in a special economic zone and the produce or the ingredients in terms of the raw materials are about 40% from an African country, you'll be able to enter the continental free trade zone. The challenge is that most of the local companies are saying that if somebody already gets import free, all of that free, and you allow them to also go into AfCFTA, then there's a double dipping where somebody is getting two benefits instead of one. So these are things that we'll have to sort out at the African Union level. I can see the African Union has also been invited here. And when we sort it out, then it would apply or not apply to the free zone. The thing about free zone, as in one country said 85%, one country 70%, is that if a company does export and it's even 2%, you can join after. So either way, even if it's 80% or 10%, you are still part of Africa Continental Free Trade for a start. Now, as to whether free zones will be an added incentive, this is yet to be finalized. But for now, with preferential treatment, yes, it is. Thank you.
Yeah, there are lots of questions, but it is time for lunch, and it's served outside. But please don't hesitate to come and discuss with our speakers, their speakers, if you have specific questions after the session. I really thank to all the speakers for their information given to us, and I believe everybody enjoyed and get some information about the free zones to use for their businesses in coming days. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you.
Değerli katılımcılar, kıymetli moderatörümüze ve kıymetli panelistlerimize teşekkürlerimizi sunuyoruz. 1 saat yemek molamız var. Yemek servisimiz başlamıştır. B5-5 katındadır. Onun ardından saat 14.45'te etkin savunma ve havacılık teknolojilerinin önemi isimli panelimiz bulunduğumuz salonda gerçekleşecektir. Katılımlarınızı bekliyoruz. Afiyet olsun.